I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about a cheat sheet for happily ever after. You know, Margaret, it sounds like you were looking for some shortcuts this week.
Absolutely. I like cheat sheets anytime I can find them. And this is a cheat sheet produced by the Gottmans. And we've talked about the Gottmans before. There's John Gottman and Mrs. Gottman. I don't remember her first name.
I think it's Mrs.
I think so too. Her name is Mrs. But they two work together on marriage and relationships, and they're very famous.
Yes.
All right. So this is exactly what they meant to do, was to write a short piece, a kind of cheat sheet for living happily ever after. And they say that you, or as early in your relationship as you can, you have to make room for doing these things often every day.
Okay. What do they want us to do?
They want us, first of all, to turn off our TV and our cell phone.
I'm already, forget it. I'm done.
You're not doing this.
I'm not doing this.
And here are the directions.
I'm turning off the Gottmans.
No. How bratty. Take turns when you sit down to talk with each other.
Uh-huh.
Each partner gets to complain for 15 minutes. Okay?
15.
15 minutes.
Oof.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't give unsolicited advice. The major rule when helping your partner to de-stress is that understanding must precede advice, because here's what happens. When somebody comes to you at the end of their day and says, you know, this, and this went wrong, our immediate response is to say, well, you could have done that, or you could do this in the future. We want to fix it for you.
Yes, and I think men are really guilty about this one.
Well, I don't even know that they have to be guilty. Men see themselves as the fix-it people, which is okay. But they're saying that it's one of the major mistakes all of us make in communication.
Because you tell me the problem for 5 minutes and I already think I have a solution for something that you've spent all day thinking about.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So what people really need is for you to hear them and hear their frustration and so forth and so on, and don't try to fix it, okay? And it's hard. Try it. It is hard.
I hear you.
Yeah. Good for you. Okay, so this is called a de-stressing conversation, by the way, where somebody's going to listen to your complaints for 15 minutes. There's nothing like it. Show genuine interest. Don't let your mind or your eyes wander, because they will catch you. Try to stay intently focused on your partner. That's not easy either. Communicate your understanding. Let your partner know that you can and are empathizing with what they are saying. That must have been awful. Oh, you must have been ready to punch him, you know?
Tell me what Gail did today.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Right, exactly right, yeah.
I can't believe Gail did it again for the 9th time this week.
My boss is such a jerk, I can't even tell you. Take your partner's side. This means being supportive even if you think that part of his or her perspective is unreasonable.
Oh, yeah, this is a tough one for a lot of situations.
Yes. It's all about perspective.
You mean your boss got mad at you for being late again? I can't believe them.
Just because you do it every day. You have to take your partner's perspective. Don't lose sight of the forest for the trees. If your relationship is important to you, it's likely more important than your opinion about the intricacies of your mate's conversation with their boss. Again, understanding precedes advice.
Yeah.
So just listen.
Most of the time, you know, somebody's got a problem. They just want to get it out.
Right.
And they just want to be understood.
Yep.
They don't need you to sit there and try and come up with a solution, even though we feel like we're just trying to help. It just frustrates them.
Yeah. And if you think about the last time that anybody really did sit with you and really, really listened as if there was nothing else going on in the world, it's an absolutely wonderful gift. It really is.
Yeah.
Because we're so distracted by all the things in life that happen.
Yeah.
Express a we against others attitude. Hey, it's us against them.
That's right.
Yeah. Let him or her know that the two of you are in this together, that you are a team, that you have their back. You want your partner always to think you have their back.
Yeah, like it's us against the world.
Yeah, and we'll win. Express affection. Hold your partner. Put an arm on his or her shoulder and say, I love you. Wow. Not only did they listen to me, they said, I love you. Wow. Validate emotions. Boy, I can see how you felt like that. I don't know if I would have handled it as well as you did. I would have punched him. Validate emotions. Let your partner know that his or her feelings make sense to you by telling them just that. And that's validating, how somebody feels. That's very important to do. Research has proven that emotional attraction is just as important as physical attraction in having great sex. If you are feeling emotionally rejected by your partner, chances are you won't be in the mood to make love. All right? But if you've done a stress-reducing conversation for the past week, we hope things work out better. Okay, so that's one thing you're going to do every day, is have a stress-free conversation. Here are things you need to talk about. Love maps. There's a term for you.
Yeah.
Now that you have made a decision to be together, your partner is not expected to know your needs and your wants. Why don't you know I want you to vacuum?
Yeah, a lot of times you'll date somebody that wants you to read their mind.
Right. Yeah.
What is supposed to make them happy.
Yeah.
You should know.
Right, you should know. I hear that a lot. He should know.
No.
Well, have you told him? Well, I'm not going to tell him. He should know. How's he going to know? Over the airwaves? You got to tell him. We have words. That's what separates us from the other creatures that we share the earth with.
Yeah.
But it is true. And that goes back to a very early stage of life for us when we're not verbal and somebody has to anticipate our needs. But once we're grown-ups, we're stuck with words and the responsibility for saying them.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you are communicating with your partner. John and Julie Gottman, I'm sorry, Julie, I forgot your name before.
I thought it was Mrs.
That's her other name.
No.
Emphasize the importance of building love maps. In relationships, knowing the small things about your partner, for example. What their favorite dessert is. What's their greatest fear or biggest dream. All of that deepens intimacy and friendship and helps you stay rooted during stressful times.
Yep.
Okay? Never stop being curious about your partner.
Which we just talked about
We just
recently.
talked about that
in
recently.
another video.
Yep. And so here's another pair of well-known experts saying the same thing. Have sex and talk about sex. Honest conversation with your partner is extremely important. How do you plan to sustain intimacy throughout your relationship?
Yeah.
What are each of your sexual needs and desires? What are your fantasies or new things you would like to try? Be specific. Couples who communicate about sex generally have better sex and greater intimacy than those who do not.
Yeah.
If it is difficult to talk about these things together, you can always seek out a couples therapist, preferably the Gottmans. If things get hectic and you sometimes cannot find time to connect physically, put aside a time like you do with having a stress-reducing conversation. And some people say that ruins the spontaneity, but if you're really busy, it's okay. Talk about money. Sit down together and have a conversation about money management. Be open and real with each other about whatever your credit issues are and existing debt. Here are some questions to get you started. How do you feel about debt? I just love it. Nobody's going to say that, But there are some
Sign
people.
me up.
Yeah, there are some people who can't stand it if there's a single bill unpaid.
Yeah.
They're all anxious. How important is wealth to you? Nobody's going to say they don't like it. But like, are you going to have a nervous breakdown if we have a recession and somebody loses a job and all that sort of thing? And all those things can happen. Also, I've heard that children are quite expensive.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, have you found that?
I found that.
Yeah. How would you plan to finance large purchases and investments, like a car or a home or a child's college tuition? With lottery tickets, probably isn't a good answer, right?
And debt.
And debt, yeah. And here's another big one: wanting your partner to change.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. Understand that you are with the person as they are, not as you want them to be.
And so many of you guys will say to me, I don't want my ex the way they are. I'll give it a chance if they're gonna change.
Yep. When you choose a partner, you choose a particular set of problems. Love your partner without judgment and accept them for who they are. And remember why you fell in love with them. Okay? Many couples come to me wanting their partner to do things their way or change their annoying habits. But it doesn't necessarily work that way. Accept your partner for who they are, even the quirky parts. If there are behaviors or issues that need to be addressed, remember to engage in a healthy, productive discussion and avoid the infamous 4 horsemen of the relationship apocalypse.
Now, he talks about the 4 horsemen in his book.
Yes, and it is indeed in the Bible, talking about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And he's saying the 4 horsemen of ruining a
The
relationship
relationship
Yeah.
apocalypse.
are criticism,
Criticism.
contempt,
Contempt.
defensiveness,
Defensiveness.
and stonewalling.
Stonewalling. Okay. Now, I personally find those 4 to be particularly,
Heinous.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But surprising. Like, I wouldn't, if you said to me, what are the 4 major apocalypse criticisms, I wouldn't have picked those 4.
What would you say?
I'd have to think about that one.
Right.
I don't think I would put stonewalling in there.
But
I think I would say reality distortion.
Okay, yeah.
I think that one would, for me...
Trying to
is-
play with somebody's sense of reality.
Yeah.
Stonewalling can do that, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I would say there's the reality distortion is a
Yeah?
broader.
Well, let's add that one.
Yeah.
This is Craig's 5th horseman.
Criticism. Yeah, I would go with negativity on that one instead of criticism. But
Similar, yeah.
yeah, contempt. What do you think about contempt?
Oh, I don't want to listen to you again about that subject.
Mm-hmm.
You always say you're going to do it and you never do.
Mm-hmm.
So I've given up.
Yeah, so just built up frustration.
Yeah.
I could see contempt. I mean,
Yeah. Defensiveness. I didn't do half the things you said I did.
that's true. I made them up.
I know you did. Because you were
With my reality distortion.
because you were stonewalling and trying to gaslight me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, gaslighting probably could be on this list too. Gaslighting is when you play with your partner's reality and say, I don't remember that happened. You have that wrong. That never happened.
Well, yeah, that's like one of the reality distortions I was talking
Yeah,
about.
very similar. And stonewalling is, you try desperately to get somebody to talk about something urgent. Not quite as bad as the house is on fire. More like the roof blew off and we have to make a decision about what to do about it in the next 2 days. Or, one of the kids has to go to the doctor and you just don't respond. And stonewalling can make your partner crazy. And it again makes them almost distort reality and say, what am I doing wrong that he won't answer me or she won't answer me?
Yeah. Okay.
So they're saying, talk about these things instead of doing these other bad things.
Yeah.
All right?
So hopefully the cheat sheet was helpful for you. I mean, I think they had some interesting information
Yes,
on
I think
it.
they did too. Just to listen to each other for 15 minutes a day. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, it seems like so little, but it does seem like so much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But, we have to kind of reconnect every day.
Yeah.
You know, you had a rough day at work or something stressful happened and you need to talk about it and then connect with the other person, and they got to get things off their chest. But if you cut them off or try and solve the problem, they don't really get it out of their system.
Right. And your evening is going to be much better if they get it out of their system.
Absolutely.
Right? But try it. You'll be amazed what happens.
Yeah.
Stress-reducing conversation, they call it.
That sounds good to me.
Just listen.
Okay, so hopefully you found that one helpful. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching, I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
Yes, feel free to contact me. I'd love to talk with you.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in finding our podcast, you can find us on most of the podcast platforms out there. Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and so many more. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.